Good morning, Danny. It's August 11th. Danny, as you know, I'm a bit of a book fanatic, I guess you would say. I mean, there are times when I have read like 40 books a year, and when you consider that there's only 52 weeks in the year, that's a lot of books. And I find it weird when people don't read books, even though I was completely one of those people who didn't read books ever. I was just one of those people that didn't like reading, and I wanted it to just go away, and I was like, I don't want to learn anything. Why can't I just go to sleep all the time? Because you know what's great about sleep? Everything. But when I moved to San Francisco, it was like I didn't have anything to do with my time. And I also didn't have a whole lot of friends at the time, so I needed something to occupy my time with. And it was about that time that I started to compile my list of life goals, which incidentally is also the reason that I started running. It turns out that the life goal list was really good for getting me involved in things that I never ever would have other involved myself in, and then subsequently loved all of those things. So yeah, people, make a life goal list. They're amazing. But something on the list was to read a bunch of books that everyone's probably already read, but I hadn't because I hated reading and I avoided it in school. And then I got into Dumb English, where we did spelling tests instead of reading A Tale of Two Cities, which is actually really funny to me because I still can't spell, but I love Dickens. Who knew? Thank you, public school education in the state of Washington, for being so ridiculously stupid. But that's a video for a different day. Point is that I started reading. The cool thing that I found out about reading is that it is a dialogue between you and the story. It is the conversation between you and the book. It's not just you reading a story and then you're like, that story was cool, awesome, let's move on. At least it isn't for me. I get so engaged in every book that I read. The cool thing about books is that it changes you as a person. You incorporate the things that you read into your identity and you form those into some weird person that you now are. The book that you read changes you forever. As much as I hate the book Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, that book changed me for the better because now I don't want arranged marriages and I know how to treat women better because it's not how you should treat them in that book at all. They're people, and you should treat them as people. Also, it turns out you shouldn't assume stuff about people that you think you know. You should really just have a conversation with them. It's a novel concept. Talking to someone to learn more about them instead of from other people. And it's amazing to me that I've read like 200 books, which is actually a really sad number compared to most people, but I have been changed 200 different times because of the books that I have read. And there was a study that was done on people who read Harry Potter that made them more accepting of people who were different than them. That is an awesome accomplishment considering that the words in the book are static and are not changing at all. They are written there. But it's the way that we interact with that story that changes us in that awesome way that we become more accepting of other people. And Harry Potter is not the only example of a book that can change you just because it was 7 books long. The Fault in Our Stars by John Green is another book that changed me for the better, that made me appreciate my connections with other people. And that is why I find reading to be so important, why I get so upset when people tell me that they don't read. It's like those people have no desire in order to find out their identity and figure out who they actually are. And I know there are different ways that people can go about finding out who they are. You can do it through TV shows or movies or just being out in the world. But there's so much collective human knowledge and consciousness in books that it is an extremely useful resource. Books are the sum of human consciousness. They are the stories of our entire species. Our mythology, our knowledge, our opinions, everything that we are and everything that we know is in books. I have a conversation with 19th century England by reading Charles Dickens novels, and that is just amazing to me. The more that I read, the more I learn about the world and the more I learn about myself. And that is the reason that I read. Danny, I'll see you tomorrow.